welcome to Girlie's Crazy Podcast. Today we'll be talking about a slightly more serious topic. Coping strategies for teenagers and building resilience. First of all, let me give you all some background. Coping strategies are behavioural and cognitive tactics used to manage human responses that put people in distress. To put it simply, it's taking action to deal with or make us feel better while dealing with poor mental health. I don't know why I'm laughing, it's not funny. Anyways, learning coping strategies can also help us improve our resilience to poor mental health. And in case you're wondering, resilience is the ability to adapt well and bounce back from adversities, or in our case, poor mental health. Anyways, enough of the boring part. Let's get to the interview. Nice to have you. Have a seat. So, will you introduce yourself to the camera?
Hello, my name's Hope. I'm 19 and I'm from Scotland.
How are you today, Hope?
Not too great really. I've been dealing with a lot of stress at the moment.
Oh, you're joking. That's terrible. But selfishly, it's completely perfect for this interview.
Oh, alright.
So, my first question for you, Hope, is do you have any specific coping strategies you use when you're dealing with poor mental health, like when you're stressed?
Oh well, I actually do have two things I usually do, but they're a bit silly. So you've got to promise not to make fun of me.
Oh, don't you even worry, girl. This here is a judgment-free zone.
Well, I usually eat chocolate and play with my dogs. Not very professional, I know.
Girl, coping strategies do not need to sound professional whatsoever. As long as they make you feel better, then that's perfectly fine. And eating sugary treats is actually known for making the body respond less to stress.
Wow!
And playing with pets literally increases the level of oxytocin in your body, which is a feel-good hormone. So those are very good coping strategies. Anyways, thanks for sharing that with me, even though it might have been personal. Me personally, I enjoy meditation and controlled breathing. It really just helps me unwind after my hard days at work.
So is there anything else you'd like to know?
Well, for me personally, I have quite a few unhealthy coping mechanisms. Like, I'll spend late hours at the pub just drinking away my sorrows, which is terrible, and I need to refrain from doing it because it's really bad. Sorry about that. I just find myself using humour to try cope because I find it a bit of an awkward topic to talk about. But just being completely honest with my audience, that's what I go through. So do you relate to that in any way, is my question.
Well, to be quite honest, I do often find myself buying cigarettes after a hard day. I did used to self-harm as well, but I do try not to anymore.
First of all, I am so proud of you for trying to stop, and do not feel ashamed about it in any way, because so many people go through that. Just not many people stand up and talk about it like you have. So thank you for sharing that. And I believe we should both challenge ourselves to stop our negative coping strategies, as they will just be more harmful in the long run.
You're right, girlie. We can do this.
No doubt about it, sister. But anyways, I'll have to cut us short because my next visitor is just about to arrive. I've had an outfit change. I was feeling a bit sweaty, so I had to change my jumper. So let's get to our next guest.
Hello.
Hi, beautiful. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Introduce yourself to the camera.
Hello, I'm Aidan. I'm 17 from the north of Scotland.
The reason I brought you on is because I know you're a highly religious person. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. I'm a devout Christian. It's very important to me.
So my first question for you is, how does being a Christian affect your coping strategies?
Very good question. Most of my coping strategies revolve around my religion. I love praying and asking God for guidance. It really calms my nerves knowing that He's always there for me.
So, do you think your coping strategies differ from people in other religions or atheists?
Definitely. There's many things that the general public do to cope that I wouldn't, as it's against my religion.
Like what exactly?
Well, one example would be turning to alcohol and drugs.
Ah, so I suppose it's a great thing then. It's stopping you from unhealthy habits.
Oh, absolutely. My religion helps me to be the best me possible.
Okay, so do you have time for any questions that are not relating to Christianity this evening?
Hello? Yes, Pastor? Okay, I'm coming. There's an emergency at the church. I've got to dash.
Well, that was unexpected. Okay, so for the first part of this interview, I'll be discussing fixed mindsets and growth mindsets. So let me explain it to you guys. A fixed mindset is when you believe that your basic qualities or talents and that can't be improved. They're just what they are. However, a growth mindset is the opposite. It's the belief that your basic qualities can be improved upon and changed. But that's boring, so let's get our next interviewee in. Hi, girlie.
Wow!
Hi, darling. Would you mind introducing yourself to the camera for me?
Hello, I'm Ailey. I'm 17 and I'm from Scotland.
It's great to have you here, Ailey. So let us begin our discussion. Do you believe you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? And if you need me to explain, that's perfectly fine because I know it can be complicated.
No need. I take mental health and well-being in school, so I'm well aware of the meaning. To be quite honest, I think I have a fixed mindset.
Really? I think I have the opposite. I've definitely got a growth mindset in here.
I'm totally fixed up here.
Okay, so anyways, how do you believe having a fixed mindset affects your mental health and well-being?
To be quite honest, I do think it holds me back. I see myself getting jealous of others when they succeed.
I see.
I also find myself not putting effort into things or avoiding challenges, as my mindset causes me to lose motivation completely. I feel it's pointless to do things, as nothing's going to change.
That's not good.
I know. I also find myself not able to take constructive criticism. It just feels like an insult to me.
So, overall, your fixed mindset isn't very good for your mental health.
I suppose you could say that. Even talking about it is difficult because I don't want people to judge me.
Don't even worry, girl. This show is for transparency, and I'm really happy you've just shared that with me. And just so you are aware, the majority of the population actually does have fixed mindsets, so you're not alone.
Thank you for telling me that.
Well, on the other hand, my growth mindset actually has a really positive effect on my mental health because I never back down from a challenge. I feel like mistakes are all just a part of learning. And I just love it when people give me feedback because I know that it's just information which can help me grow as a person. So it's just really quite good.
Oh, I wish I could be like you.
So, I know I've kept you for a while already, but there's just a few more things I'd like to ask you. Is that alright?
Of course. I'd be happy to answer more questions.
I'd like to know if you do anything for self-care, if you know any examples of self-care which could be beneficial for the audience.
Yeah, I do actually. I usually journal. It just helps me get all my thoughts and feelings out of my system, so I'm not bottling things up. I also really prioritise my sleep. I normally make sure to get about 8 hours of sleep each night. It really helps me be in a better mood and it makes focusing a lot easier. It also really reduces the amount of worry and stress that I feel.
Oh, very good. I have a few myself. For example, I just use a lot of typical relaxation techniques like deep breathing and muscle relaxation. It just reduces stress in my life and it just helps me totally unwind after a hard day. I've also started using healthy eating as a self-care method. So I'm eating more fruit and veg and I'm drinking more water. And that just reduces cortisol, therefore stress as well.
Those are two really good ones, girlie. Oh, it's my mum. Dogs have escaped again. I'm sorry, I need to go, girly. It's been really nice chatting with you.
Oh, what a shame. Well, it's been nice chatting to you too, Ailey, so have a good rest of your day. Okay, audience. That's been 3 interviews now.
Wow!
But we've still got a tiny bit more to talk about. Do you have any self-care methods that you use?
Just fitness and exercise, really.
And why is that?
You know, it just helps release endorphins.
And what do they make you feel?
It just makes me feel a lot more positive and just
Oh.
happy.
That's brilliant. What else is there that you do?
Well, I like setting boundaries, you know.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
And what? Say no to people?
Yeah, like when I say no to people, you know, it just gives me a bit more energy.
Yeah, so you don't have to waste time
No, exactly.
doing things that you really don't want to do. Yeah, that makes complete sense. Thank you for that, Matthew.
Yeah, it's okay.
Would you say that you enjoy talking when you're overwhelmed?
Yeah, it just helps release tension, really. And so it's not really building up inside me.
That is perfect. And do you have any questions for me quickly?
So, why do you always talk so positively about mental health?
I just think it's so important to talk positively about mental health. It just really helps to normalise it and reduce stigma around it.
Woo!
Hello, podcast viewers. It's Girly, back again. I just quickly have to inform you all that unfortunately we do not have a time for another interview. So I'm going to have to quickly go over the last topic all by myself, and I'll try to make this as interesting as possible. Every day, people with poor mental health will face challenges due to people having really a lack of education on the subject. They don't understand, they see things, they get misconceptions, and they start treating people with poor mental health differently. For example, poor mental health go through prejudice, which is when people get like incorrect ideas and beliefs of people with poor mental health based on things they've seen. Like, for instance, people saying, oh, I don't want to go near this person because I've seen in a film that people with poor mental health are dangerous. There's also stigma, which is when people see people with mental health in a negative way for really not much except misconception. Also discrimination, which is when people actually treat you differently, like physically. That is discrimination just because of your mental illness. Last, number 4 is labeling, which is when people call people with poor mental health names like, for example, freak or loony, blah blah blah. And that's just really unhelpful because it makes people with poor mental health feel completely rejected by people. And all of those 4 things are just completely unnecessary, and they'd be avoided if more people were just educated on mental health and told how normal it is. Anyways, for the last bit of information I'm going to give you is just about support, and I'll be really quick, and then I'll leave some numbers to call if you're ever feeling bad mental health at the end of the video, just so you're all aware of places where you can go. So quickly, I want to let you all know the difference between formal and informal support. Formal support is basically things that are scheduled and professional, like with a therapist and someone that you don't really know. They're just there to help. Compared to informal support, which is with people that you're close to, that really just want to help you because, I mean, you could be their friend, family, anything like that.